I'm going to switch some of my equipment here real quick. Is this mic better? Is this better audio? Or compare them, Mark. This or is this better now, or was I better before? Okay. Yeah, and I screwed up when I just went on and went live. It asked if I wanted to send, because now there's 10 people that are in the list, and I said not to send an email. I just quickly clicked and didn't say. So, I don't know whether you clicked. I think you could do it too when you came in. So do you think they're going to get them? Let me see if I got one. Yep, I got one. So you must have sent it to me. So I just got one. So that's cool. All right. Well, then he knows about it. Yeah, and he Bob was planning to be on today, and he ended up having a friend that he hadn't seen in 20 years that called and said he was going to come into town and whether they could go play golf. So they're out playing golf. So let's go ahead and start recording, Mark. Let's go ahead and start. Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. Didn't start real formally there. I was on another call right before this. This is our Talk with Wayne. We do every Thursday. Mark and I are on alone right now. And we're going to have some days when we have guests, two other kind of co-hosts, Bob and Russ. Those guys will be on sometimes. And there'll be a rare time when I won't be on. And actually, next week, I totally plan to be on, but I'm actually going to be driving from here in Colorado to Nebraska. So I will stop somewhere and do it from the road. And we've done that a bunch of times, so that's not that hard. But anyway, just thought I'd let everybody know that. And we're going to talk about our website a little because we're going to get that sucker out there in the next week or so. Mark and I are dealing with it right now and finishing up some of the last pieces. So I'm going to share my screen in a minute and show a little bit of that. We're also going to talk about AI a little more, just because I've started to use another AI alternative a little more than I did previously. And it's called Bard. It's actually Google's open site like GPT chat is, that's free. And one of the things that makes it a little better, let's say, than what GPT chat is GPT chat obviously is learning all the time. It's getting better and better and better about what it does for its knowledge base. But it gives a very strong disclaimer on a regular basis about how, don't ask me that question because I don't have data more recent than a little quiz here. Who remembers? Mark, do you remember? What's the date that GPT chat says it doesn't really have data past? No, it's not that old. No, it's September of 2021. So it won't do what I just had Bard do. So I am going to share my screen here, just a second, and I'm going to look at something. I'm going to show you Bard. So this is Bard, and it looks a lot like GPT chat does. Here's a cool thing, Mark. You can actually talk to it. So you can, Oh, you aren't. Oh, what's going on here? It says it's sharing. You got it? You got it? Yeah. All right. So this is Bard, and I had started a thread about prominent and newsworthy environmental issues today. And it's very much like GPT chat is if you don't ask a question in the right way, it will tell you, I can't do this. So it says, I'm a text-based AI. That's outside of my capabilities. All right. Then I went to say, what are the most newsworthy environmental and ecological events in the United States today? And it then listed these five: ongoing and climate crisis, loss of biodiversity, pollution, deforestation, overfishing. And then it says there's a lot more potentially, but these are the just a few of them. And then I said, can you be more specific about one of these? So I picked pollution. All right. I said, could be more specific about pollution related events and the sources of your information. And then he went and says, Bard did, I'm unable to help as I'm only a language model and I don't have the ability to process and understand that. And I didn't tell it. One of the things it doesn't do is it doesn't act the same way that GPT chat does, where when you interact with it talking, you can get things done. Instead, I went to the next one, which is pollution. I got more specific and I said, pollution is a major problem in many parts of the United States. Air pollution, water pollution, and land pollution are all harmful to human health. That was right off of what he put up here. So, or Bard did. It's a major problem in the United States, air pollution, blah, blah, blah. So I just took that and it then gave me 10 very specific issues. And then again, it broadened them. Okay. It went all kinds: chemical, radioactive, visual, light. Well, I happen to know there's a huge issue in the news today about noise pollution. So then I went and specifically talked about noise pollution. Noise pollution is the unwanted. And I took that right from what he said, or the Bard said. And I said, give me 10 specific issues for today. And it went to airport noise, traffic noise, construction noise, industrial noise, blah, blah, blah. Again, not as specific as I wanted. And then I said, give me a specific news release information for today on 10 airport noise. That's what I know that there was something about. Can be a major problem for people who live near airports. The constant noise, da, 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 that comes right from it. And now he finally got it right. And look what it did. Yeah, didn't. He started out and said, oh, here's how you can write your own press release or a news release. I said, no, I don't want to do that. And went in and get what are 10 environmental news headlines in the United States today. So it finally got it right here. And it said EPA Administrator Michael Regan announces a $1.5 billion funding to help communities address climate change and environmental justice. So that was one literally that came today. The Supreme Court blocks the Biden administration's effort to limit greenhouse gas emissions. A new report finds that climate change is already having a significant impact on the United States. I'll read a little more on each of these. The Biden administration announces a new plan to protect the Arctic. A new study finds that oceans are absorbing more carbon dioxide than previously thought. Hurricane Agatha makes landfill in Mexico as a Category 2 hurricane. That's going to cause some environmental issues, so that's why it was up there. Wildfires continue to rage in California. Drought continues to plague the western United States. Sea level rise continues to threaten global communities. Microplastics are found in the Arctic, okay? Some of these are stories you'll find all the time. I was starting to say, Mark, when you said my screen wasn't showing up, though, here's a real cool difference between Bard and GPT chat is you can talk to it rather than type. So I'm going to say, Let's see. Let's start with this one about EPA Administrator Michael Reagan. And it's asking me if I want to use my microphone. All right. Would you please give me more detailed information, including sources, on the EPA Administrator Michael Reagan announcement of a $1.5 billion in funding to help communities address climate change? And it stopped recording, I think, guys, because it said all right, but it didn't keep going. So I don't know what happened here. Let's see. Let's go back to the microphone. All right, I'm back at the microphone, but let's back this up. I think if it doesn't really like what you start with, I've never done this, so it's the first time just trying this. Tell me about details of the US EPA administrators Michael Reagan announcing a $1.5 billion funding to help communities address climate change and environmental justice. And give me the sources, please. That was a lot faster than I could type. So let's see what it comes back with. Gave me some code. I don't know why. Oh, this is interesting. Obviously, it didn't like that. Where can I find more information about the funding? You know, it thought that I was somebody that wants to get some of that 1.5 billion. And all I wanted to do was get the news stories about it. It's kind of interesting. I think Bard will also do art. So I'm going to do a statement. I'm going to say, can you give me a photorealistic view of pollution from airport noise as an image. So it's saying I'm not, I'm only trained and able to communicate human-like text. Now, I think there is a way that it can do it. And I'm not, this is one I just don't know how to do the prompt. So you got to learn about, you can't use GPT chat to do images, but you can use OpenAI, which is a broader form. And there are a number of developers that have created their abilities to deal with it. So anyway, that is just a little example of Bard. And one topic we dealt with today. I think I'll go back and talk about a couple of these environmental issues just a little bit. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Oh, no, I'm not. We're going to look at our website. So I'm just going to do something here to back up. Are you still seeing the Bard page, Mark? Because again, I'm still learning a little bit on this. Yeah, but which screen? You're seeing the barred page. You're not seeing what I'm doing on Kajabi. All right, now I'm going to switch it. So I'm going to turn it off for a second. I think you have to turn it off, turn it back on. All right, tell me when you're starting to see the website, Mark. Okay, so Mark and I are going to do a little talking about some other little changes we're going to make also as we do this. But Mark, what I was talking about earlier is that notice how I don't know whether you made this change, but I like the fact that the header up here is in a gray color. And then when you move down, it turns green. Before it was white in the same background that you have here. This is a better, this is a look. So, so again, this is going to replace our current website, which I'm not going to be bringing up. Mark can show that just maybe a little bit later. I'll let him share it so he can get ready for that. But the very first of it is very similar. We want people to get, to get and join our Eat Free community. And so they can both click here or here. I'm just going to do this one. And when they do that, they end up getting essentially what we call a lead magnet page. We decided to put a little more text on it after what's called the headline up here. And literally you put a first name and last name and email, and you're now a member of our Eat Free community. By the way, those of you watching this, if you're watching it live or if you're watching a replay, you are already a member. That's you get that automatically when you sign up for one of our webinars. And so anyway, you wouldn't have to then do these clicking. But what we're changing on the site is there are now other things that you can also be doing with it. And this is the big difference. We're going to be calling the education side of what we do with EAT Eco Mastery. That's going to be our new name for it. You're going to see reference to that a little further down in the page here. And we're doing something completely new. And we're doing what we're going to be calling eco intelligence. And that is kind of what it says here. The tomorrow of leadership and consulting is here today. We've made it easy to join and build leadership teams remotely. Select your interest below and see how we've transformed the traditional mentorship process. Okay. So when you get there, you have two choices. You can say, you know what? I'm an expert in, you name the topic, forest ecology, solar, nutritional issues, health, anything economic. And I think I could help all kinds of other companies. And I do now. I actually do sell my work now. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you're a rookie. You really would like to do it. We hope that you will click here. By the way, there's going to be other chances to click a little later in the page too. And then what if you're a company or even individual, you've got a farm and you need to get some advice from an expert? We want you to not have to leave our platform to get that advice. We believe that out of the 32,000 members we currently have and the many, many more we hope we will be getting, that there's got to be an expert that we already have as a member who can help you. So I'm not going to click on either of those right now. I'm just going to kind of continue down because let's just say you say, well, maybe both of those things could be interesting, but I don't want to click on something right now. They're going to try to get in my pocket. I'm not going to click yet. So you keep going. So then we go back and we say, well, what is this EAT community thing? And how can it help me and also make the planet better? How great is that? And so then we've got, well, it can do partnering, creating a community of eco champions, which is what we've been doing, or educating or mentoring. So let's say, well, I would kind of think about this. So here's this eco intelligence group that you could potentially join for free. And it gives a little description of it. And so you could just click a little bit like you have been able to join Eat Free. You could now join both Eat Free and Eco Intelligence for free just by filling this out. And if you're already a member of Eat Free, we will automatically probably be making, we haven't decided totally on this yet, but we might automatically be making you a member of Eco Intelligence. We haven't totally decided. We'd love some feedback from you actually about that if you want to give it to us. So now I'm going to go back here to the and what if you're really interested in just what we've been doing through the last 7 years almost through the EAT community, which is primarily educating. And if you click on that, it's going to take you to really, this is the same type of a headline that we had on that previous page where you would join Eat Free. So that's what that is. And then finally, we created a new page here for mentoring. What if you're really looking for a mentor? We've got this page. And if you click on Get a Mentor, and this was not done earlier. Oh, it is now. So it's saying, talk with me about it. And we need to probably come up with remind me, Mark, we should change this top up here where we do book a call to talk about if you want to learn more about the mentoring and other things related. So we should just add some of that up here. So that's what that gets you. And then here's another one where we've done this before and where we're saying, okay, why don't you try this out? And this is the EAT team. And you can do that for free. You're already a free member, so you don't have to do anything more. Or we also have a deal we're going to have for a while, which is for 14 days, you can get an Eat Elite membership and then cancel it if you want and not pay anything. And I don't know if you realize it, if you've been thinking about this, but I'm going to give you a little inside because people do this all the time. You could watch hundreds of our different sessions that you can't watch on Eat Free. They're not available for you. And then cancel and get thousands of dollars of benefit. And then you don't continue it. And we're not wanting people to do that, but that could happen. And by the way, we're still adding some testimonials here. This is not done yet, and that's why we're not live with this yet. We're just showing you stuff. And then this is something new we've added. We would really like your opinions on some things in a survey, and we're going to send it out in emails also. But if you were a brand, oh, by the way, the people that are coming to this site are going to be people that find it through a search, through a Facebook ad, through a Google ad, you name it, just some way. These are new people. They've never even heard of this EAT thing, this community, this economic action team. And so most of them are just brand new here. And so this challenge down here it turns out that people actually really enjoy doing assessments, and we're actually going to give a prize away for people that do it. And we say it right up here in just a little print, but in another place we put it on the site where we say, that it can be a free gift, a little bigger print. We might make this even bigger at some point, but we'll give you a free gift if you'll come in and do this survey. And then we have a link to all our blog articles, which is fairly cool. These are not our most recent ones. When we go live, we'll change this weekly probably and put the most recent. These are a couple months old now, but we have those. You want to learn more about us, you can click and read about our story, which is a little bit longer, quite a bit of information here, which is kind of cool. And again, places that if you want, you could go ahead and sign up for our Eat Free. Wow, Mark, I'd forgotten what we call this our tetrapod, which is now doesn't have these plastic sides. It's a piece of art that's at the end of our property. I bet this picture was taken about this same time of the year, by the way. Also, there's no leaves on these brush here. And that's about what it looks like if I showed you a picture out our window. And this was an aquaponics system. And we put it here because there's subsurface flow to where if you planted things through the winter, they would grow. We were growing herbs in here all winter long, just with the sun's heating this up and not freezing all winter, and then water that would come out of the ground coming up into this area. So that's a lot bigger than it looks. That's about maybe almost 20 feet across right through here. Anyway, and then this is a cool little video. I don't know whether it'll have, I think it's pretty quiet. This is units. We've made these units. We have 2 of them still here on the ranch, but we've put them out all around the world, different places. These are made from a 40-foot Connex, some people call them, or shipping container. All powered by remote, potentially, and down here at the end where it's like you're a person walking. It's not the best video, but it kind of shows all the details. It's a dehumidifier. There's air conditioners there, heaters. This is looking right at the trays where they would be, where food would be grown. This is looking down under into where there'd be water. There's 2 700-gallon tanks, one on each side. I guess that's the end of it. So, yep, it is. Anyway, that's that page. You know what? When that changed, you guys weren't seeing that. I just realized that because I was still on this page. Should have said something, Mark. This. So again, we're going to start calling all of our online courses and lessons and special guests Eco Mastery School. And these are some of our really popular ones. And on our current website, you would click on, we had like a Hollywood Squares, we had 16 pictures. We've now got 8 here. And we'll change some of these over time. Probably won't change out Mark. He's really very popular all the time. Won't change out Elaine. She's also really popular. Might change some of these others. But when you click on the Learn More here, and this is switching too, so I'm going to stop here and switch I'm going to turn it off. And start sharing again. And that one is going to be that there. Is that Mark? Is that the one? Mm. No, I haven't put it up yet. Um, huh, I'm not finding which one it is. Let's do this one. Um, so I'm not sharing yet. I know I need to go back to this and go to back to that page. Anyway, I'm not going to show each of these. There's like little 6-minute videos, and they tempt you to want to watch the whole video. And again, you're brand new, you would be asked to join Eat, and you'd immediately be able to watch Mark Shepard if that was your interest. Then you could just sign up here and start getting our emails. That's the other thing that's going to be different. We are not going to just be writing emails anymore that are just inviting you to free webinars. The free webinars are great, and we have lots of them, but we're going to actually have at least one or two a week, if not more. Maybe we'd like to get up to where it's one a day. That won't happen for a while, but where they are very much knowledge related. So I just wrote one today. I haven't even talked to Mark about it yet, because Mark's going to be the one who does probably the last editing. That is going to be about something that's sort of near and dear to me because I'm dealing with it right now, which is how to keep cattails out of ponds and wetland areas organically, and doing it without using bad chemicals. So it's about a 1,500 word email. So it's what you would call a long form email. But just that email alone will give you lots of great information with sources and lots of how to types of things. And then we go into what are our features and benefits. I'm not going to click on each of those. I'm not actually sure all those are done yet. We'll be working on what are these called these calls to action. Oh, I do know that Mark's going to change these images to where they actually look more like these photos, which we really love the way this looks. So there'll be something up here that is more probably a picture of a student in a classroom or a teacher in a classroom or something. Maybe this is a group of people around a coffee table or whatever. And this maybe is of somebody that might be Mark Shepard, let's say, a policy or a politician, a picture of somebody that we're looking to influence. Then we don't have this currently, but we're adding a frequently asked question section. And we're also saying, if your question isn't answered below here, add your own. So I'm not going to click here, but it's really simple is click here to add your own question and we'll answer it for you. So very simple. And then this is the way our current website ends, and we're going to end it the same way, which is you can click and go directly to various sources where you can watch or listen to our podcast. So now I'm going to go back up and quickly show you the branch here that I talked about, to where I got, let's say it intrigued you up here and you said, whoa, join an advising team. Yeah, I'm great at what I do and whatever that area is, and I want to make some money doing it, or more than I'm making now. So you click here. Again, this is our new logo for eco-intelligence. We've told you that we have a new logo for the economic action team here. It switched again. Okay, let's stop. Cool. All right. Well, you guys please weigh in about some of these things. Either raise your hands and we'll unmute you, or weigh in about your thoughts of what we're showing you. I got to share the screen again here in just a second. All right. Seen it now, Mark? Okay. Again, if you believe you have skills and knowledge and all kinds of cool things that you'd like to share, and maybe you'd like to make some money, or maybe you just want to do it for whatever, you are now going to be able to join for free. And we're also going to have a paid version, the eco intelligence area of the EAT community. And Mark, I think this looks great now. This is the right size. Mark and I have been messing around with the size of this, and we were a little worried there was too much white above it and below it before you got down to the verbiage, the words. But I think we're just about there now. And I do like again that the gray up here rather than it staying white. It pulls out the header a little bit more. And once we get this live, there will almost always be an announcement up here also. Are you guys seeing my analysis? This is something that I just get on every web page that I open. Are you seeing that, Mark? I don't even know whether that's part. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, so this says, ready to provide consulting to EAT community companies and others. We're revolutionizing the traditional consulting and advisory paradigm, giving all our selected professionals the chance to serve our business members remotely through our innovative digital platform. So we're going to have lots of very cool things that you're going to be able to have that otherwise would cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. And you're going to get some of it for free. We will also have a paid membership where you'll get more, but you'll have this. So it's again trying to pique your interest, and most people are not going to probably just click on get started, but some will. I'm not going to click on that right now, but you could, and that'll literally take you into where you have the opportunity to see two options: the free option and an option that will be free initially at least, but eventually will have a cost associated with it. And then just lots of other really cool information. And Mark, interrupt me if anybody throws out a question or a comment at some point. Are you hearing me all right, Mark? Yeah, this is my mic here. So, and I finished another call just earlier. Everything in the system seems to be working. I apologize, Claudia. I'll try to talk a little louder
for these crazy thought conversations, right? It's just like
cut the tissue.
Anyway,
bring your own Kleenex. You got a runny nose? Bring your own Kleenex. So it's some really wonky decisions that don't seem like sound silly, but culturally, imagine sitting around being like, "Yo, they just took all the tissue boxes out of the tissue, like the lunchroom. Should we find other jobs?"
Turnover can cost your company time, energy, money, and in fact,
we're going to
morale.
have a survey, which will some people will take, and they will again be able to help us because we'll learn about who are the people that are really interested, what's their demographic, where are they, what kind of business are they in, why would they be interested in this, and so on. And then we have a number of features and benefits. And then finally, this is the end here. You can still, it's kind of two choices. You could become a consultant or an advisor through the Eco Intelligence Group, or you could build your own team for your company. So there's two options. You could go either direction. Again, here's the logo. Claudia, I apologize. I'm talking really loud right now, and I don't know. Alicia, are you having any trouble hearing me? And I'm going to stop sharing and go back again to our other side. All right, so now I'm back on what will be the main web page again. And now I'm going to click over on this one, which is what you would go to if you thought, I really need some of this advice that these people can give for my company. And again, you're not going to see it right away. I have to switch over to that. I'll do that right now. All right, and here is, again, still the name. We're branding this as Eco-Intelligence. Mark, this is a little larger. If you were to look at them side by side, you'd see this one's bigger than on the other side. So just a little hint, we should probably make this a little smaller, just a little bit. Again, if you're at all interested, you can schedule a call, or we'll give you options and the ways you can get started. Again, I'm not going to read through all this, but we hope people will, and they'll be able to see the benefits of this. Having a digital office and forum, post questions and updates, get real-time feedback, hold moderated meetings with their teams, meet remotely with their team, get more profit, and we'll have lots of business sales information available, how to get that. And again, we'll take the middleman out and we'll allow you to make teams who can compete with big companies and be better than them because you don't have the overhead that they do with a team that you create. And maybe it's just for one project and you just use them one time. And then you create a whole different team to do a different project. So here's sort of that kind of description. And all the benefits, real-time solutions, privacy and security, qualified talent, thousands of experts, priceless insights, interactive boardrooms. What kinds of companies? Could be businesses, nonprofits, NGOs, startups. And again, well, maybe I got to the end of this and I don't know which of these two I'd like the best. I think I really want to be an advisor. I want to make some money. So you go back over this direction, click on it.
That stop putting tissue boxes in the lunchroom because it was costing us. I was there for these crazy.
Oh, what is that? That wasn't me. Not me. So how did that happen? Okay, that's all right. But it wasn't all long. All right. I'm having an exciting thing happen here in 15 minutes or so, and I don't think they've come yet, but at 4 o'clock, and right when this is over, we are going to have something we've been looking for 5 to 7 years at least, which is 2 people who are going to be our ranch managers. And they are coming here from Texas, actually, where they've been over the last month, but where they've been living more recently is in Durango, Colorado, which is in the western side of our state. And they're going to be moving into a dwelling here on our farm. And then eventually we'll actually move them into a better one that we're building for them. And we'll show some videos of that just to show you how that can work. By the way, I'm noticing, wow, do I have we get farmer's tans. This is a winter tan because that's my sunglasses that I'll typically be wearing in the winter. The tan line there. Our sun is brighter during the winter because of being at a little higher elevation and in the mountains here in Colorado. So anyway, I'm running out of things to specifically show. I would love to get some feedback from some of our other participants here today. If you guys have them, I'm going to look over at the chat here real quick. Rachel Carson, this is Alicia always gives us great links. By the way, Rachel Carson's been dead forever. How is she doing a podcast? It must just have her name, but Rachel Carson hasn't been around for a long time. Rachel Carson wrote the very famous book Silent Spring, which a lot of people will say is what started really the whole concern about planet issues. Let's go back up to the top here. Couple of links to some podcasts. Another one to an engineering and history podcast, or maybe just a website. Info about rising seas. That was one of the news topics that we were talking about. 400-acre urban park. Very cool. I'll click on a couple of these in just a second. Crop nutrients from Dredge Lake. That's an interesting one. That's in Science. Science is one of the most prestigious publications in science in general. To get something published in Science is hard. I mean, hard. You have to be probably a full professor at a university like Harvard or Stanford, or whatever is a similar, Oxford, whatever is that same kind of thing in Russia or Germany. Your topic has to be funded by really amazing funding. And then again, you have to have a big history of working. It's the most prestigious journal probably to be published in. So I'm gonna actually click on this, see what this Science article shows. It's taking a little while to load here. The only reason I am, and I'm guessing something here. What it says is dredged lake sediment could nourish new crops. And you know what? I'll share this. It's kind of cool. So here's a new pond. You can see there's an excavator down here working, and they have moved a bunch of dirt over here, it looks like they're building this in an area that's already a drainage. So if you look here, it looks like there was a stream or is a stream right here. This is a lot greener area. That's sub-irrigated soil and grass. This is cropland outside of it here. And it looks like they're going to make this pond something like this. I don't know whether it'll be an egg-shaped or there's going to add some features to it, but they're working on it, and it's clearly wet. This was maybe from rain. I'm guessing this is not a picture from this year. This is a year old or something, but they're moving the dirt they take out right over here. This is probably a 20-foot high pile. And then you can see a dump truck right there, or a dump wagon that's attached to a tractor. And they're taking this from here. And as the article says, it looks like they're putting it onto farmland. So every year, farmers fertilize their crops with nitrogen and phosphorus to ensure a good harvest. Every year, some of that fertilizer inevitably makes its way into ponds and lakes, where it can trigger ecosystem wrecking, which it can do. Algal blooms, wrecking algal blooms, which is bad. According to a new study published in the journal Science and the Total Environment, though, there might be a relatively simple way to close the loop on this leaky situation. Use the nutrient-rich lake sediments as a fertilizer. So then they said they'd be wise, looking at these and recycling these nutrients, blah, blah, blah. You know what? This is not a research study by Science, by the way. This is a summary, and it's going to be actually talking about a lot of other research. And so here it started with the University of Illinois. This is now moving to the University of Helsinki, which is in Poland, and a 2017 study. And this is just description of that. And looks good. Getting a lot more, 40% more nitrogen over the course of the trial. Did emit a lot of carbon dioxide, so that was a potential negative. They actually weren't as positive about it here. They say that it's not necessarily a great primary soil. And this is another study. Looks like doesn't say where this one is, but different author. Ukraine saw fertilizer prices triple in Europe, and that's kind of the end of it. So interesting, very, very short summary article, not a typical Science article where it's going to be groundbreaking research on something. And I would say the title's a little misleading because 2 of the 3 studies it talks about weren't too positive about using lake sediments to put on crop areas, new crop areas. And that's what I was going to be surprised about, because I've actually felt the same way. I've not really done specific research on it, but there is a different kind of nitrogen and phosphorus in lake sediments than there is that soils would have, and that terrestrial plants would need. It's really that simple. So anyway, let's stop sharing here. Go back and maybe look at a few more of the comments. Brownfields and energy's future must be a project that's talked about there. Kind of cool. Energy retention strategies. We have found out that a negative of this platform versus GoToWebinar is this chat area is not recorded. What's recorded is across the screen when you guys put up whatever it is that you've put into the chat. And it just goes there and gone. We got to figure out a way we can capture this, Mark. And maybe, what if you were screen capturing this while we are doing it, because it's being casted? So is there a way we're collecting it that way? That's worth looking into. So this is kind of interesting. Look at this. View together in room. This is a feature of Kajabi that we have now. We could put this into another room. Let's say there were 100 of us on this, and in a replay there could be more, where you said, let's go over and look at this. Let's take a subset of us. Let's 10 of us go over and watch this video. And so I think all I'd have to do, I haven't done this yet, this is new, is click on this, and then it's going to open up another room on Kajabi that we could be viewing this in. Oh, so Harvard Business Review did the podcast about Rachel Carson. Got it. I didn't think they were. Well, if you guys don't mind, because we go over a lot. I'm going to make us a little short today because I do have to get ready for this couple that are coming in here with a trailer, or actually a U-Haul truck, and getting ready for their move in here. So, and we're supposed to get some rain a little bit later, and it's beautiful out right now. The sun's shining, and that would be a really great time before the rain. And who knows, when the rain comes in, we won't even know it because we're in a canyon. You don't see the storms that come in from the west until they're right on top of us. Oh, here was just something really nice. Thank you, Claudia. I appreciate it. I want to thank you for the work you do. Over 2 years ago, I was inspired to have a chicken coop by watching one of your videos. Could you give us, would you mind if we use this as a testimonial, Claudia? Just because we're putting that together for our sites right now. Okay, cool. So Mark, make sure somehow we do capture this. Don't want to do that. Did you see that when I clicked? It says I could remove it. I don't want to do that. Right there when I clicked on the 3 dots. Awesome. Well, you guys are awesome. And that's what our goal is to do, Claudia. It is to help people make a little money. And, I hope your chicken coop allowed you to have a number of chickens to where in these days when eggs are ridiculously expensive. By the way, I'm not hurt badly. That's just an ugly looking bandage that I haven't replaced because I had a little scrape and it looks like I'm in huge pain or something. But that's economics. Help people learn a little bit how to make a little money making the planet better. And certainly with your own chickens, you are absolutely making the planet better. And hopefully you've learned a little bit about how to do that. So that's our goal. She was also inspired to have fish, and now she has a small farm with 200 tilapia. Wow, Claudia, very cool. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. A friend, Alicia says, a friend of mine had a bird feeder that a bear tore apart to get the feed in northern central Wisconsin. That happens. Bears are, very good at figuring out how to get into things, and they will eat anything from just a little bird feed to much bigger objects if they can. All right, everybody, I think we're going to call it for the day. Thank you so much. And Mark, thank you. Mark has been with me for 10 years now, and he's awesome. We have some good times in a lot of them, and we're tough on each other at times too. So that's the way the great relationships are. Anyway, appreciate you, all of you. And Mark, why don't you take us out, my friend?